If you drive a Ram, your transmission is either going to last you 500,000 miles or leave you stranded at 80,000 miles. I have worked on enough of these trucks to know exactly which ones do what. These are the 3 worst and 4 best Ram transmissions ever made. We start with the worst. The first one set the tone for many Chrysler transmission problems that followed. Worst number 3, 46RE. This transmission was the factory automatic in the 1996 through 2002 Dodge Ram 1500 with the 5.2-liter and 5.9-liter V8 gasoline engines. I cannot tell you how many of these I have seen come through the shop missing overdrive. Here is the core problem. The 46RE is basically the old Torque Flight 727 3-speed from the 1960s with an overdrive unit bolted onto the back of it. Chrysler never properly redesigned the internals for that extra gear. They just added it and hoped for the best. That overdrive section has a shaft inside it that barely gets any oil. Over time, the clutch material burns, breaks apart, clogs the filter screen, and fouls the solenoid pack. Once that happens, you are looking at a full rebuild. The front clutch inner seal is another weak spot that causes massive internal leaks. The governor pressure solenoid also has a fluid passage that is just too small for the job it needs to do. I had a regular customer years ago who went through 346RE rebuilds in the life of his truck. Every 80,000 to 100,000 miles that transmission would give up. He was not towing, not racing it, just daily driving. That tracks with what I keep seeing from other Ram owners too. Average failure mileage sits right around 89,000 miles with a $2,000 repair bill. If you own one of these trucks, the single best thing you can do is change the transmission fluid and filter every 30,000 miles. Use ATF plus 4, not generic fluid. And if your mechanic ever has the pan off, ask them to check the accumulator springs and the solenoid pack connections while they are in there. But this next one has a flaw that is even sneakier. Worst number 2, the 45 RFE and the 545 RFE. These two are essentially the same transmission. The 545 RFE just has a software-enabled 5th gear. They came in the 2002 through 2012 Ram 1500 behind the 3.7-liter V6, the 4.7-liter V8, and the 5.7-liter Hemi. They have a hidden self-destruct sequence built right into them. Inside the valve body, there is a tiny screw sitting between 2 accumulator pistons. Over time, that screw vibrates loose and backs all the way out. Once it falls into the pan, the remaining screw takes all the stress. That screw snaps. Then the accumulator piston starts slamming against the cover plate and bends it outward until the piston comes almost completely out of its bore. When the inner seal exits the bore, you get a huge pressure leak, and the overdrive clutch can never apply properly again. The classic symptom is the truck shifts from first to second just fine, but when it goes for 3rd gear, it feels like it drops straight into neutral. I have diagnosed that exact complaint more times than I can count. The real kicker is the root cause can be fixed with a $14 repair kit. But by the time the symptom shows up, half the transmission is already toast, and you are looking at $2,000 to $3,500 for a full rebuild. The other thing that kills me about these transmissions is they cannot handle any extra power at all. I am talking 400 horsepower, and they start braking. So if you have a Hemi Ram with a cold air intake, a tune, and headers, your 45 RFE or 545 RFE is living on borrowed time. If you are shopping for a used Ram 1500 from this era, check the transmission fluid condition before anything else. Dark, burnt-smelling fluid is a walk-away signal. Make sure the truck shifts cleanly into every gear during the test drive, especially that 2nd to 3rd shift. And now we get to the single worst Ram transmission ever made. And it is not even close. Worst number 1, the 68RFE. This is the 6-speed automatic used in Ram 2500 and Ram 3500 trucks from late 2007 through 2024. It is paired with the 6.7-liter Cummins turbo diesel, and it might be the most controversial transmission in the entire truck world right now. I have seen this transmission fail on trucks with as few as 30,000 miles when they are tuned. I have also seen stock trucks with proper maintenance push past 200,000 miles. It all depends on how you use the truck, and whether you fix the weak spots before they blow up on you. The steel cores on the overdrive clutch plates are paper thin, they warp under heat, and the overdrive housing itself flexes and makes the warping even worse. The valve body leaks fluid internally between passages, so the clutches never get the pressure they need. The accumulator plate inside the valve body is made of metal so thin that it bends under load, blows off, and causes an immediate shift failure. On top of all that, there have been 2 major safety recalls for fire risk because transmission fluid was being forced out of the dipstick tube and onto hot exhaust components. That covered trucks from 2019 through 2023. Rebuilding a 68 RFE, the stock way runs $4,500 to $6,500. Shop owners and transmission specialists will tell you that a stock rebuild just puts the same weak parts back in and the clock starts over. A properly built 68 RFE with upgraded components runs $6,600 to $13,500. Some Cummins owners eventually give up and swap to a completely different transmission altogether. If you own a Ram heavy duty with a 68 RFE, add an auxiliary transmission cooler and monitor your fluid temperatures. Keeping that fluid under 220 degrees Fahrenheit is the biggest factor in how long this transmission survives. Change the fluid and filter every 30,000 miles and use only the manufacturer's specified automatic transmission fluid. Now those are the 3 you want to avoid. But Ram has also produced some transmissions that are flat out incredible. The first one on the best list has been earning respect since the Kennedy administration. Best number 4, the TorqueFlite 727. If there is one Chrysler transmission that earned its legendary status the hard way, it is the 727. This 3-speed automatic was in Dodge Ram trucks with V8 engines from 1962 all the way through 1991. It was also the first automatic ever paired with the 5.9-liter Cummins in a pickup, right before Chrysler moved to the overdrive transmissions. I am not exaggerating when I say this is one of the toughest automatic transmissions ever manufactured by anyone, not just Chrysler. Drag racers used to pull these out of Dodge trucks and bolt them behind Ford and Chevy engines because nothing else could handle the abuse. The design is mechanically simple, with just 3 speeds, no overdrive complications, and no electronic controls to fail. It is just gears, bands, and hydraulic pressure doing what they do. The aluminum case somehow refused to break, no matter what people threw at it. In stock form, it handled the Cummins diesel torque without complaint. Built versions can handle over 1,000 pound-feet of torque for competition use. Parts are everywhere and affordable, so rebuilds are cheap and easy to do in a home garage. The only real downside is no overdrive gear. On the highway with 4.10 gears and 33-inch tires, you are turning close to 2,800 revolutions per minute and burning fuel. The workaround is an aftermarket overdrive unit that bolts onto the back and can improve fuel economy by 25 to 30%. Here is the ironic part. Every Chrysler truck automatic that came after the 727 was basically the same transmission with an overdrive section tacked onto the back. The 46RE, the 47RE, the 48RE, they are all 727 descendants. That bolted-on overdrive section is exactly where every single one of them fails. The original 3-speed design, without that compromised overdrive, remains essentially unbreakable. If you are finding this helpful, hit subscribe. I break down Ram maintenance tips every single week. Now this next one is a manual transmission that Ram owners absolutely refuse to let go of. Best number 3, the NV4500. People love this transmission like it is a member of the family. The NV4500 is a 5-speed manual built by New Venture Gear, and it was in the Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500 from 1992 through 2005, behind the 5.9-liter Cummins V8 and V10 gas engines. It has a cast iron case, an aluminum shift cover, and it weighs just 105 pounds. The shifts are precise and mechanical in a way that heavier transmissions just cannot match. I have personally seen one go 390,000 miles on the original internals with nothing but regular fluid changes. Owners of newer Ram trucks actively swap these in because they prefer the NV4500 over whatever automatic came in the truck. There is one well-known weakness, and it only affects the Dodge version, not the GM trucks that also used this transmission. The 5th gear retaining nut on the main shaft can back off under heavy load in 5th gear. When it does, 5th gear disengages. You can still drive in gears 1 through 4 just fine, so it will not leave you stranded. The permanent fix is a fully splined main shaft upgrade that runs $400 to $600. Once that is done, the problem is gone forever. One important note if you own one of these. The NV4500 is very particular about fluid. The synchros inside are made of a special material that reacts badly to the wrong oil. Use the wrong fluid and you will chew through them fast. Castrol Syntorq, 75W90 or an equivalent GL4 oil is what you want. Do not put GL5 gear oil in this transmission. In stock form, it handles about 400 horsepower reliably. With a billet input shaft upgrade, it can survive 500 to 600. Sled pullers have pushed over 800 through them, but I would not recommend that for a daily driver. A full rebuild with the main shaft fix and new synchros runs under $1,000 in parts if you do it yourself, or about $1,500 at a shop. Now, if you need an automatic that can tow serious weight and survive doing it, this next one was built for exactly that. Best number 2, the Aisin AS69RC. This is the one Ram owners pay extra for and never regret. Reliable. The Aisin AS69RC is a 6-speed automatic built by Aisin, Toyota's transmission subsidiary. It has been in the Ram 3500 pickup and the Ram 4500 and 5500 chassis cab trucks since 2013, paired with the high-output version of the 6.7-liter Cummins. Durable. This transmission is rated for roughly 1,000 pound-feet of input torque, which is way more than the 68 RFE was ever designed to handle. First gear is geared really low, so it pulls hard from a dead stop with a heavy load, and the 6th gear overdrive keeps highway RPM low, even with big tires. Torque. I talked to a guy at a diesel event last year who had 362,000 miles on his 2014 Ram 3500 Aisin with nothing but fluid changes by the book. Another owner I follow online has over 470,000 miles on a Ram 4500 and regularly tows over 34,000 pounds combined weight. That is what you are paying for with this transmission. Proven. The trade-off is shift quality. The Aisin shifts like a commercial truck. The RPM drops between gears are noticeable. It can chirp on the 3 to 4 and 4 to 3 shifts, and the 2 to 1 downshift is rough. It is not a smooth luxury experience. It is a work truck transmission, built to last, not to ride smooth. Workhorse. There is one thing to watch for. The 2022 production year trucks built between April and October of that year had a defective clutch drum snap ring that could cause sudden complete loss of forward gears with no warning. A new part was released to fix it, and there was an investigation that covered about 188,000 trucks. If you are shopping for a used Aisin-equipped Ram, check the build date and verify the part was addressed. Check. The Aisin adds roughly $2,600 to the truck's sticker price over the 68 RFE. I personally think that is money well spent considering what you save on rebuild costs down the road. Service is about $500 every 30,000 miles for fluid changes. Worth it. And the #1 best Ram transmission ever made finally gave Ram 1,500 owners something to brag about. Best #1. The ZF 8-speed. This 8-speed automatic is built by ZF, a German company that also supplies transmissions to BMW, Audi, Jaguar, and Rolls-Royce. It has been in the Ram 1500 since 2013 with the 5.7-liter Hemi, 3.6-liter V6, and the 3.0-liter EcoDiesel. I remember when Ram first announced they were putting an 8-speed in a pickup truck. A lot of people were skeptical. More gears means more things to break, right? Turns out the opposite happened. The way this transmission is designed, only 2 clutch packs are working at any given time, which means less friction, less heat, and less wear. It can skip shift from 8th gear all the way down to 2nd when you need power in a hurry. And it runs up to 40 different shift maps depending on driving conditions. The durability numbers on this transmission are unlike anything Ram has ever produced. One well-known owner on the Ram diesel forums hit 500,000 miles on his 2014 EcoDiesel while towing an Airstream across the country. The engine was replaced at 370,000 miles, but the ZF transmission has never been opened. Another owner hit 200,000 miles, towed beyond the truck's rated capacity, never once changed the transmission fluid, and still had 0 issues. I do not recommend skipping fluid changes, but that tells you something about how tough this gearbox is. Salvage yards are actually flooded with used ZF 8-speed units because so few of them fail. You can find one for as little as $200 at a yard just because there is so much supply and so little demand. The only real complaint from early 2013 through 2015 models is a harsh 1-to-2 shift when the transmission is cold, which is usually fixed with a valve body replacement or a computer reflash. Service is pricier than older transmissions, and a dealer will charge you $400 to $800 for a fluid change, but that is nothing compared to what a 68 RFE rebuild costs. ZF recommends fluid changes every 60,000 to 80,000 miles, even though the truck's manual might say the fluid is good for life. Do not believe the lifetime fluid claim. Change it. If you are buying a Ram 1500 from 2013 or newer with the ZF 8-speed, you have one of the best transmissions in the entire truck market. Take care of it with regular fluid changes, and it will take care of you for a very long time. So there it is. 3 Ram transmissions to avoid, and 4 that earned every bit of their reputation. If you are looking at a used Ram right now and want to know what else to watch for before you buy one, that video is on screen now. I will see you in the next one.